Dynamite! How's it going, all you guys and girls in the Illumination? Time to jump aboard the Loom train. It's me, JJ, Double J, the Illuminator here, the sweet one. Also known by almost countless other aliases and nicknames, but we won't get into that right now. You know, back in the day, as we moved around here and there several times throughout my childhood, my dad was pretty handy. I think it's part of the way things were for the baby boomers, and definitely the generation before that. A lot of money wasn't around, so you weren't going to go and spend, $100 to pay someone when you could do it yourself for free. But I'm not quite as handy as my dad. It's more of a thing that my forte, or my fort, as the it's funny how, little side note here, we always say my forte is this or my forte is that, and it's actually, it doesn't have the little accent on the E, so it's really supposed to be said my fort is this or that, which I digress, no big deal. I'm not a grammar Nazi all the time. But my thing was always computers and indoor stuff, as opposed to being so good with my hands. Like my dad back in the day, he wasn't an electrician, but he was able to do all kinds of electrical work, ceiling fans, lights, plugs, everything in the house, you name it. Cars, he was not a mechanic, but he was able to do a lot of work on cars. And he wasn't a carpenter, but he was able to build a lot of things. Honestly, he wasn't a plumber either, but he was able to do a lot of that stuff too. But I can remember one time in particular, he built a shed. Now, getting back onto me, I can do some stuff. I built the duck coop. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but I'm able to figure things out as I go and watch other people's videos and catch up on and figure things out that way. But my dad never built any type of structure in his life. He built, when I was a kid, at one of our houses, he built this shed that was unbelievable. It was almost like a house. It was just wonderful. He did it within a weekend, from like daylight to I should say from sun up to, I can't even figure this out. From sunrise to sunset on a Saturday, sunrise to sunset on a Sunday. And he built this shed that was about 12 feet long by 8 feet wide and wonderful. It looked like a little house. It was so well made, pitched roof and everything. My uncle, the funny thing is, my uncle, when he saw it, he was saying that his cousin Manny, who a lot of times was, excuse my language, but we have an expression around here, it didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. My uncle would always make the joke, that's so nice that Manny could live in there. He'd put a TV and a folding chair, he'd be all set. Put an army cot or something, he'd be all set. Funny thing. But, just being handy is something I wish I was more of. And, I could do a lot of things, but I can't do as many as my father could back in the day. My grandfather actually had one hand, had his other hand blown off in World War II. But my grandfather with one hand used to be able to take engines apart, put them back together, used to rebuild lawnmower, all kinds of stuff with one hand. I mean, talent that I don't even have as much talent in my whole body as my father and my grandfather had in their pinkies. But anyway, I digress. I just wish I was more handy. And, what are you going to do, right? We all have our things that we would change about ourselves. But it doesn't stop me from keep plugging along, right? Hope you're doing well. I love you all. Take care. Stay safe. Have a good rest of the day. This is the Illuminator, and I'll be back.
Please, sir, I want some more.
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?